Am I the asshole for throwing away my girlfriend's umbilical cord? Lord, give me strength. Oh. So for God knows what reason, I have taken to reading the Am I the Asshole threads on Reddit just before I go to sleep. It really boggles my mind how some people are like, am I the asshole for doing something that is clearly an asshole move? Will we get demonetized for saying asshole 5 times in the intro? Absolutely, which is why you should check out my clothing brand Rift Supply Co. Hoodies have been restocked and they're also nearly gone. The long sleeves are also nearly gone, so we'll leave it at that. I haven't done one of these in ages, but if these Reddit videos are kind of boring for you, feel free to click whatever just popped up on the screen. I recently made a video reading out your most batshit insane Uber driver stories. Wild, honestly, there was a murder involved. Am I the asshole for permanently deleting my girlfriend's Instagram? Not only might you be the asshole, you're probably just straight up abusive. But let's not draw conclusions just yet. My girlfriend, 24 female, and I, 27 male, have been dating for 5 years now. I don't have any social media, no Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snap, etc. I'm a private guy and like keeping my personal life to myself. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is obsessed with Instagram. She has over 800 photos posted on Instagram and is constantly scrolling through Instagram every waking moment she's not working or sleeping. She would rather spend time attention seeking from her 5,000 plus followers than spend some quality time with me. I confronted her a few times about this in the last few years and she always tells me she'll cut down on her Instagram usage, but she never did. Last week she was using my laptop because her laptop was at the store and I noticed she forgot to log out from her email. I did the forgot password thing and reset her password to log in. I googled how to delete Instagram and followed the link and then deleted the account. Dick move. I don't think there's gonna be much justification for this. She woke up the next morning and started screaming and crying about how I permanently deleted her Instagram instead of deactivating it and that I betrayed her trust, etc. Well, yeah, dude. Now she won't talk to me because she says she can't recover Instagram and her profile of 10 years is lost forever. I think she's being incredibly childish and throwing a tantrum over some random app. If someone obviously did this to my account, I would flip my shit, but even if I only had 5,000 followers, I would also flip my shit. The follower count is pretty irrelevant. It's the, betrayal of trust, like logging into your account and making an executive decision about something that's not your right to make a decision about, and that decision being permanent. Like all of this, for those of you at home who might not think he's an asshole, he's the asshole. Honestly, I'd say it's actually a pretty good thing that he did this so she can realize that she's spent 5 years with an asshole and she can get rid of him. Now, the only thing that I would critique of her behavior, if what he's saying is true, is that if she's actually spending every single waking moment on Instagram scrolling and ignoring people in her personal life, that's a problem, but this is not the solution. Don't invade people's privacy, don't effectively hack someone's account for your personal gain, don't be borderline abusive and controlling, and don't be this guy, most importantly. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my girlfriend for wearing mismatched socks? Cool. We're having a very normal one, obviously. I've been dating G for 5 years and was considering a proposal until this. Don't tell me it's the socks. G has always worn mismatched socks. We love a first world problem. Not just 2 different colors, but pattern ones too. When we were younger, I thought it was adorable. As we're getting older and furthering our careers, I find it unprofessional and immature. And it's a little mood killing because it's not very sexy when that time comes. Take your socks off. But honestly, dude, if socks is what's killing the mood for you, I think there are other problems at play. I've had multiple discussions with her about it up until now, and she's always brushed it off. She doesn't think it's a big deal. I'm a little less bothered with this at home, except for when we're getting down, but the last straw was when we went out to visit my parents and when stay at home was lifted in our state. My brother and his wife were there and their young daughter. She had mismatched socks on too, and I pointed it out to G. G said she didn't mind matching with my niece and that it didn't mean anything about maturity because they're just socks. Because they're just socks. To me, it proves that she's acting like a literal child. Oh God, dude, grow up. I just don't understand what the problem would be with wearing normal matching plain socks. This guy sounds like the human equivalent of cardboard. When she was at work, I got rid of all the patterned and colored socks and replace them all with blacks. Oh, fucking boring, man. Also, just stop trifling in people's shit without them being there. And replace them all with black socks. I thought she would be excited to get new socks. She blew up at me, accused me of being the immature one, accused me of needing to feel in control, etc. I feel like anyone with eyes can see that. I just wanted her to dress like an adult and told her I don't want to marry an overgrown child. She's been staying with her sister since and won't speak to me until I understand. Am I the asshole for replacing her socks? They're just socks. Do we not pick up on the irony of that statement? They're just socks, but you just had a full-grown adult tantrum about them that's nearly destroying or maybe has destroyed your entire relationship. But they're just socks. Jesus Christ, there's no self-awareness anywhere in sight. Am I the asshole for throwing away my girlfriend's umbilical cord? Lord, give me strength. Shit, do we want to read this one? I've just had a browse through that one, honestly. You don't want to know. Am I the asshole for abandoning my girlfriend on top of a mountain? Oh, why is this even, you know what, we're not gonna jump to conclusions. Am I the asshole for abandoning my girlfriend on top of a mountain? I know this sounds bad, but hear me out on this one. We'll try. It wasn't even a big mountain. It wasn't even a big mountain. That's when you know you're in the wrong 100%, when that's your first and possibly only defense. The mountain wasn't even that big. Well, not sure that's the point. Basically, I've been going on hikes alone on weekend mornings while my girlfriend eats pancakes. It's a dream. On Sunday, I went to do a peak. That's easy if you're a vet like me, but still takes a few hours. It already kind of sounds like a douche, but anyway, I went early so I could be back for the football game at 1. I could not miss this game. So I woke up early to go and my girlfriend gets up with me and is like, let's do it. And I was like, what? She gives me this whole spiel about her trying to better herself and her body, which she gives me every year, but I still felt obligated to bring her along. This dude sounds like a gem. Before I agreed, I made sure she understood that it would be challenging and that I was going to be going at a brisk pace because I needed to be home in time for the game. I told her that if she wanted, we could do some lighter hikes later this week so she can ease herself into it, but she insisted she could keep up. But of course it didn't go that way. She fell behind immediately before the real ascent even began. I offered to turn around and tackle it another time, but she insisted she just needed to adjust to the altitude change. Nope, it took us over 2 hours to get up and she complained and begged for water the entire time. We got to the top and I told her we needed to get down faster than we went up because if we didn't, I was going to miss kickoff. She got all pissy over that and was like, isn't spending time with me more important than the game? I knew this was bait, so I just said back that I told her the conditions beforehand and it wasn't respectful of her to slow me down like this. She then got real mad and basically shrieked across the entire peak that I might as well just leave her up there, and I was so angered and embarrassed by her that I did. I told her the descent down was easier and there were plenty of people around to help her if she needed it, and I headed back down the mountain alone. I felt bad, so I waited for her in the car and watched the game on my phone, and she didn't make it down till the 4th quarter, which I pointed out to her as soon as she opened the door. Oh, bad move, dude. She won't talk to me. I know my actions were hurtful, but her peak freak out had humiliated me and I didn't know what else to do. Am I the asshole? Had he not left her at the top of a mountain, I would be inclined to say that potentially the girlfriend's kind of the asshole, with the disclaimer that if his unwillingness to include her in his activities and his unwillingness to have them spend time together is like a recurring issue, maybe that's why he's the asshole as well. But no, you don't leave people at the top of a mountain and get angry when they're begging for water because it's not an activity they usually do for a sports match that you can watch later in the same way that you ended up watching it anyway. But either way, these people should probably just break up. They're clearly very mismatched. Am I the asshole for emasculating my boyfriend? Can't wait. Anyone that genuinely uses the word emasculating is emasculating themselves, honestly. I, 30 female, met this guy, 28 male, in January, and he became my boyfriend in February. Comes March, the world goes down the drain and we decide to move in together for the time of the pandemic. Jesus. Everything is great. In the morning, we have this routine where he browses Reddit and gives me the highlights. A few weeks ago, he shows me a post where this guy is challenged to an arm wrestling competition by his girlfriend. The guy didn't seem to have any sort of training / workout, whereas his girlfriend did. I commented he might have a surprise. My boyfriend started educating me on biology and how men are stronger than women. I told him that there's way too many factors to take into consideration to make such a broad comment. I've been doing weightlifting for 2 years and my boyfriend has never seen a gym in his life, so I use this as an example. That was a big mistake. Oh dear. Jesus. We've all met this kind of guy too. He got really defensive and condescending and made comments like, that's cute. I just let it go. Fast forward to yesterday, he's playing some game with his friend online and I can clearly hear him talk about me. Well, curiosity killed the cat. At first it's all pretty and my ego is bursting, but then he says I'm delusional because I think I'm stronger than him. Pause. Seriously? I know I'm weak, but I'm not weaker than a girl. Oh, you hate to see it. $10 a year is absolutely weaker than a weightlifting girl though. So later I decided to call him on his bullshit. I asked him if he wanted to come work out with me the next day, this morning, so he can show me how strong he is. Oh shit. He accepted and I was happy because I had been dying to bring him and initiate him to something I'm passionate about. So this morning we went to my friend's garage. I told him we were gonna do deadlifts. It's my favorite exercise and I was already planning to test my personal best, so it was perfect. My friend was there because he corrects my form and it's been our Sunday ritual since COVID-19. We started light and slowly worked our way up, doing the same number of reps as the other. Comes 185, his form starts to crumble, so we made him go lighter. But 185 really isn't that much for me, so I kept stacking the plates. He looked very supportive and impressed the whole time. I ended up beating my personal best at 265, Jesus. I was ecstatic and so were they. When we got in the car, he was very silent. I assumed he was just tired. Oh God, we know where this is going. We got home and that's when he exploded and asked me if I was proud of myself. Apparently, I had humiliated him in front of my friend. Because it's her fault that he's weak? What the fuck? I apologized. I didn't realize he was feeling that way. He got angry and said it really changed the way he saw me, like I'm less of a woman now. He stormed to the basement because he's clearly the epitome of a grown-ass man if he's storming to the basement. I started collecting my things, but now I'm wondering if I should have been reading between the lines and stopped at 190 or something. No. Or just dropped it and never suggested we work out together. I knew very well I was stronger than him, but I just had to prove it to him. Fair enough, and you did. Good job. Had this been like a non-weightlifting girl and a non-weightlifting guy, he may have had a point. But how on earth? Who's convinced this guy? How is he so deluded that he thinks someone that weightlifts all the time is not stronger than him when he does absolutely nothing? In what world is that ever gonna make sense? Anyway, that's a pretty decent definition of insecurity and also an abundance of unearned confidence. What a little weenie. Am I the asshole for being mad that my boyfriend dedicated his book to O.J. Simpson instead of me? Oh, I don't understand from the jump what is going on here. My boyfriend of 5 years has many great traits, but the one very weird quirk is that he's convinced OJ didn't do it. He's seen every documentary and miniseries and still thinks OJ is innocent. His explanation of who he thinks did it is probably even crazier than other OJ truthers, but he's not a conspiracy theorist other than this, so I mostly let it go. He spends a lot of time reading about and watching OJ related content, and it's just become a hobby that I ignored. He recently self-published a book unrelated to OJ. It's just science fiction. I read all his draft and helped him edit. Perhaps narcissistically, I thought I would be the person to whom he dedicated the book. It wasn't until I ordered it that I opened it and saw it was dedicated to fucking OJ. Now I know it's his right to do whatever he wants, but I wouldn't have been upset if he dedicated it to his mum or something, but he never met OJ. He said he hoped the book would go big, people would buy it and would be thrown off by the dedication, which talks about OJ being innocent, and would open up the Pandora's box to the world. Wow. I asked him why not just write a book about OJ then, and he said because it would be harder to market given that he wasn't involved in the case and isn't in law. It's weird that he's self-aware but still not quite self-aware. He's so close to getting it. So his hope was to write a science fiction book. Seemed odd to me because he's not usually a writer. That would be the next viral novel. With the secret agenda of highlighting OJ, he was also hoping that OJ himself would see it. Well, I don't even need to read the rest of it. The girlfriend had no right to have the book dedicated to her, really. But the boyfriend is a nutcase, so don't want to read into that one too much. Am I the asshole for being annoyed by my girlfriend's zest for life? What? Why would you be annoyed that someone enjoys life? What on earth, dude? My girlfriend, 29, is a very lively and energetic person, but sometimes her behavior is really annoying for me, 33. She wants to share her joy for little meaningless things up to 5 times a day. Oh, 5 times a day. 4 would be fine, but 5, and you're absolutely pushing it. It's tiring. This guy sounds taxing. Yesterday we went on a hike and she was constantly admiring the nature. What a bitch. Grass has reached an impressive height. These ducks have babies. Look, 3. Nature is healing my soul. Look at this panorama. Breathtaking. And these are bad things. She was obviously having the time of her life. What an absolute piece. I get it, there's a duck, there's some green grass and some hills while we were walking, but the hills are not that impressive and you can literally see them everywhere in our area. She made 3 or 4 comments about nature and it always included the imperative to look, but I just wanted to exercise and get the hike done as quickly as possible. What a just wet blanket, dude. This guy sucks. I know exactly where her behavior comes from, this horrible behavior. Her family does the same. Look, James, the tit found a nest in our tree. Did he have to use the tit? Found a nest in our tree. Any other, just say bird. Mary, look how beautiful your cake glaze is turning out to be. Delicious. What is bad? I'm so tired of looking. I don't want to give her that attention, and things she's pointing out don't make me happy. They mean nothing to me. Couple of questions. Why are you with someone if their happiness and zest for life is draining you? I can honestly sometimes, especially first thing in the morning, completely understand his outlook, but it wouldn't make me angry that someone else is having a good time. Am I the asshole for saying it would be nicer if my boyfriend had a bigger dick? Sounds like you might be the asshole, but let's read. I've been dating a guy for a couple of months. Almost every time we get intimate, he mentions how my butt would be so much nicer if it was just bigger. Oh, dude, because Nash is probably not the asshole. He's told me many times about how he prefers women with bigger butts and how he wishes mine was larger as well. I've told him I'm pretty happy with how large my butt is currently. It's about average, not big, not small. And I don't want to do booty workouts to make it bigger or anything like that. Since he keeps bringing it up, I asked him how he would feel if I kept saying it would be so much nicer if he had a bigger dick. His dick is below average in size, so this might have hit a place of insecurity for him. He was very upset that I would even suggest that and said there were 2 completely different things, since I can change how big my butt is, but he can't change how long his dick is. I was just trying to bring up a parallel so he would understand. Look, if you have to repeatedly tell someone to stop making comments about your body or that you're fine with your body and they keep telling you how you should change, fuck them off. Put it in the bin, get a new one, they're no good. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that I don't care if it's her turn? We're not naming our son Tuesday. I feel quite confident that this time the guy is not the asshole. Oh, really sorry if anyone's named Tuesday though, no offense. My wife and I have been together since we were fucking 14, dude. Oh, that's way too long. We got married at 21 and had our daughter at 25. Last year we were going through some marriage difficulties and decided a break would be in both of our best interests. We both just need a little time apart after being together for so long. So we split, and in this time my wife felt pretty awful about herself. I initiated the break and ended up hooking up with one of her longtime male friends, and she got pregnant. At 6 months pregnant, we reconnected again and got back together. Her friend had absolutely no interest in the baby. He had begged her to abort and told us he would not play a role in the baby's life whatsoever. We agreed and planned to raise him together. Anyway, that's the backstory. It's been 2 months since then and we've been really late on the names. I thought that said memes for some reason. I know, the deal was I named our daughter Charlotte. My wife didn't actually like the name, but she agreed so long as she got to name the next kid. She came up to me yesterday and told me she was reading a book and found the perfect name. Tuesday. I asked her what it was and she said Tuesday. When she first said it, I immediately laughed out loud and I asked her if she was serious, as any normal person would. She said yes, she was, and it's her decision. I followed her around the house and told her absolutely no way were we naming our son Tuesday. He'd get made so much fun of. My wife said no, he wouldn't. Lots of kids have unique names and aren't bullied. I told her yes, unique names, not days of the week. She wasn't hearing it and pointed out she hated the name Charlotte and agreed on the basis she would get to name the next kid. Couldn't you have found a name you both like? I argued that's a totally different thing. Charlotte is a normal name. Our daughter won't get laughed at because of it. My wife got frustrated after arguing on and off for the rest of the day. I just walked off, although she came right back and apologized and that she didn't mean it. I was fucking pissed, understandably. That's already pushing it way too far. Why couldn't they have just found a name for the first kid that they both like and find a name for the second kid that they both like? Why is that not the normal reaction? I wouldn't even name my pet Tuesday though, so obviously I'm not gonna side with the wife on this one. Speaking of Tuesday, it's Friday and I wanna go have some beers with my mates, so I'm gonna end that here. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn the bell on because I give shout outs at the end of every video to people who subscribe and do that. Also to people who follow me on Instagram and TikTok. YouTube shout out goes to McPlayer80. Instagram shout out goes to Dambo611. And TikTok shout out goes to Chloe O'Keefe10. Thank you guys for subscribing, commenting, having a chat with me, existing in this part of the internet at all. I appreciate it as always, and I'll see you in a few days with a new video.